T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
And this episode of the Midheaven Podcast is brought to you by Mini Cheeses.
Oui.
We wish we were sponsored. We're not going to tell you what brand it is because we're not. But if you happen to be affiliated with these Mini Cheeses, please send us as many as physically possible.
Yes.
I would appreciate it.
Oh, yes.
Welcome back to the Midheaven Podcast, where we assess the stars for you. My name is Candace Marie from Beyond the Veil Tarot and Astrology. This is my partner in crime,
A peace dealer eating cheese. I feel just so amazing.
Mr. Godiva
I just
himself.
I just subscribed to an OnlyFans account, so I feel accomplished.
That's what you're doing in my house in between takes?
I took a break. I don't even use OnlyFans.
Took a break to see some internet poon?
I don't even look at OnlyFans, but I do now for Pisces season, so it's lit.
If you guys are not aware, this is, well, you probably are. You're probably like, what the fuck, Candace? I'm back because I wanted the meat. I wanted the juice of where that Saturn, Venus, Mars conjunction in Aquarius is taking place. So
Yes.
if you are following back up from last week, hopefully you got to take a look at your chart. You know what part of your chart it's taking place in. Just a refresher, this conjunction is happening between like the 28th of March and about the 8th of April. Big pivotal changes happening in the life and kind of in everybody's life and building towards a new collective future. If you appreciate us taking the time and the energy to put these podcasts together, please go ahead and be sure to subscribe. Click below. If you're not aware, we have memberships. It's awesome. For about $50 a month, you can help me feed and give beer to a Nigerian child.
This is amazing right now. I'm having a religious experience as she's talking to you.
Every time
This
he
is
comes
so
through, he gets a
good.
different cheese, pretty much.
This is so good. I'm putting my fingers all up in this cheese right now.
Can you tell me he's a Taurus rising?
Venus, Taurus too. Sampling this. This is just so amazing.
So we're going to go through the 12 signs in this episode. We're going to try to stay on task time-wise. Thank you guys for following us back. So I guess we'll go ahead and kick it off with Aries and Aries rising. Always listen for your rising sun and moon sign. Like, how did you express it in terms of how people interpret it?
The rising is where it's going to play out in your chart. The sun is how you're going to be aware of it. And then the moon is how you're going to feel about it. So like perception personally is the rising. And then the third person objective camera crew following you around is the sun.
All right.
There you go.
So for Aries and Aries rising, this conjunction of Mars, Venus, Saturn, and Aquarius is taking place in your 11th house.
Whoop. That's the gang.
Yeah.
It's a community. It's a friendship right there.
It's like going out there and doing stuff with and for other people. Or maybe you're like building, you're like, fuck this, my friends and I all quit our jobs. Mm-hmm. We're coming together and we're starting our own company.
I want to reference K Flock, who's one of the current hottest Brooklyn drill rappers right now. I want to actually do a special video that I would love for you to look into if you ever wanted to. He's a Moon, Pluto, and Sag, Sun, Saturn, Aries. And get this, right now he's blowing up bigger than ever. And that's like the 11th house, right? But he's in prison right now because when Pluto was on his Mars in Capricorn, he killed somebody.
Oh, shit.
He shot somebody. Like someone came up and then he's in trial for that, self-defense or not. So I thought that was really interesting. But like you can see it with him as an example of Aries because like he's at a culmination of like having the biggest, but like his music is some of the hottest right now. So yeah, that was interesting.
I wonder if there's gonna be a lot of people fighting and trying to correlate with like political figures or whatever, trying to get him off.
Okay, like I love that she just said that because that's exactly what happened. So the mayor of Brooklyn wants to end drill music because it's like violent, and so all the rappers got together to like talk about it. She just nailed it right now.
Yeah, that's basically
what's happening right now.
I mean, it's crazy because a lot of these things are still setting up. So we're seeing the precursors of it, obviously, because Mercury went through these degrees. But last year, Jupiter was in these degrees too. So we kind of already looked into the future to see what it could be. But I think a lot of you guys are going to focus on like networking I think because it's highlighting, you know, both your 7th house ruler and your 2nd house ruler, it's how you can find more stability or security, and maybe like a period of like making big decisions about who you're keeping in your kind of like close-knit group.
Right. And it's also hopes and wishes too. So it's like everyone coming together after their travels and journeys, and it's bringing all their expertise and wisdom. And
I think like a lot of Aries will be involved in like a lot of new startups and a lot of things that are, you know, taking place and like happening that might
Shout out to Astrologgy. I think she's an amazing example. Aqua rising. So like she has her team, her Aqua, and like it's an Aries season, ready to move forward with like a whole new cycle. Yeah,
I mean like when Uranus crossed over my moon in Aries, that's when I started working with her, and she's in Aries. So she's definitely a part of and has kind of laid the groundwork for a lot of people that I'm still friends with or still work with.
And now it's in Taurus, and you have
and now I'm a Taurus.
Your husband.
Okay. It's been really interesting to see that progress.
That's amazing.
Pay attention to your goals, Aries, okay? It's like a time where you really have to show up, right? Because when Mars transits are happening for you, you have to be courageous and take action. And there may be a lot of like you feeling the need to stand up and protect other people or protect partners or...
I just want to thank both of you again for this cheese and beer. Like, this is everything for me right now. Like, I'm so in love. Like, this is just so essential.
This is what our memberships buy us, just so you guys know.
I'm so happy right now. You have no idea.
I told Mike, I'm like, if we make a little bit more each month, I was like, I'll have a pack of joints at the house, man. I was like, just for the set.
You don't know how much this is.
Just fucking snacking and looking at OnlyFans, just living your best life.
For real, before the world ends in like warfare and Holocaust, like this is my last chance. But it is what it is. You know something? I love that this is happening for Aries during Aries season. It's just like they're leading the charge.
Yeah, it's like fuck yeah.
And Saturn in your 11th is also a tightening of your social circle. So it's weeding away those who are jealous of you, but really just waste your time.
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be I feel like it's a culmination since 12 years ago of everyone you've ever known coming together. And it's just like, boom, stronger than ever of who you're meant to move forward with. You're manifesting destiny. And then what do you think of Pluto in their 10th?
I mean,
transforming a lot.
Yeah, it's transforming a lot, but I think that it's been really kind of helping a lot of Aries realize that if they needed to go through the breakup with their job or their boss or their partner or whatever, like they are fine because they're falling back on good friendships and people who are supporting them. So they're kind of realizing like, oh, I don't have to have this title in the world to be successful or...
That's real.
You know? So there's like a lot of like moving with like-minded, free-thinking people who also have like Jerry Maguire'd their way out of situations recently. And that some of the best things can come from that. I mean, if you think of what's going to happen with these conjunctions, especially if you like are a part of a labor union, or an actual union in general, some of these conjunctions can be that your union is striking and that you're having to go and like join other affiliations and stuff to kind of like feel like you're actually pushing something forward and creating some kind of a movement or a negotiation for like, you know, better everything across the board, really.
That's just, and then Chiron too.
Yeah.
You may just actively and then you got your moon there too, so you may just actively trigger people.
Yeah.
Which Aries does without the need for Chiron. So I think with Chiron there, it's just like even more intense. Aries has a way of just letting you know you're a bitch without letting you know you're a bitch. And like, it hurts, but it's necessary. So
I like that all of that is second to Aquarius because a lot of other people are going to come together and kind of go, yeah, I'm equally pissed off or I'm equally ready to fight.
And Aries is the first one to do something about it.
Yeah.
So that's very key. We got Pallas Athena, so very strategic. But you know what? I think the hidden blessing is Neptune and Jupiter. This is like a new cycle of a spiritual belief in yourself that now that everyone has come around you to support that belief, it's not like you just saying it in your head. I feel like right? I feel like for Aries, a lot of things that you've been telling yourself about yourself, now you're hearing other people say it. Like, you're the best, you're the one, like, you got it, you know what I mean? So that's awesome.
Okay, so for Taurus and Taurus rising, this is big for you. So you're on like the hot seat because it's happening all in your 10th house of career and who you are in the world. So this is probably, dare I say, aside from Pluto's ingress into Aquarius here next year, probably one of the bigger periods in regards to your career. Ever. Like, because you have a Saturn cycle, which is 28, 29 years, and a nodal cycle, which is every 20 years, correlating. Like, so, it's been building towards this point where...
Especially if you're born in the mid-80s and after, this is for the first time you're coming into this. So
because of the Pluto aspects, too.
And Saturn rules the 10th, so...
I would just say, like, if you've ever wanted to be free in your career, if there has been this reoccurring theme that's like, I don't want to work for the man, I want to do my own thing, like, I want to have something that's, like, big and also creative and, like, futuristic, or, like, you know, I want to work with my best friends, or, like, I want to start the new, you know, kind of major app or social media network, like, now's the time. Right? And I think that for you, it's a lot of, like, really having to push through things because you're getting hit pretty hard with the squares to Uranus in your sign and the North Node in your sign, because you're a little rebellious and you're getting impatient.
Yeah, super impatient.
And you're going to have your moment to kind of cut loose and let loose a little bit, but you have to have your eyes on the prize until about August. And that's when liftoff will happen. And you're going to have more freedom, but realize that these planets meeting in your 10th house of career is like redefining like what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
That is a fact. It is definitively like opening a door into the new cycle of your career. And everything that I feel like a lot of you Taurus risings, it's like, this is all based on what you're being known for. So like many of you can now step into a new job situation where you don't have to work as much as you did, or you're just coming up on a higher level of responsibility.
Well, and you have to work with other people, and it's about learning to maintain your independence while working with others, because Aquarius is a group.
It's success, though, too, on a level that you're redefining. And this is going to set a lot of you for life. This is going to be lit.
I would just say the challenges is the squares to your South Node in the 7th. Be mindful that there's big changes not only in your career. You might feel like you have to cut some business relationships off, some partnerships off, some romantic relationships off, because you're like full steam ahead with what's going on with the career.
And it's also bringing partnerships that are key to your success.
Or karmic.
And karmic
super karmic people. And helping you kind of undo patterns of like where things went wrong in other relationships in the past, and like learning not to respond out of fear. Learning to like be willing to do the work psychologically to like really show up. Right? And like not be afraid, and like not be reactionary when conflict arises. Like, you know? Especially
because the North Node is having you unconventionally define who you are in ways that have never been done before. Like, for example, like let's take crypto. Like some of you are going to come through success in, let's say, crypto, right? And now this has never been done before. So what do you call that?
Well, also the fact that this is all happening in Aquarius, and then later this year, you know, you're going to have transit somewhere in your Taurus placements. And then the North Node's going to meet Taurus at the end of July going into August. So it's like, by the summer, you're going to be like, I'm no longer an employee, I'm a CEO.
Right, for real.
Right? Like, I'm no longer single, now I'm married. Or like, I was always struggling and now I'm thriving. Like,
life-changing.
There's huge changes coming for you, but you're going to have a new title in the world. And it may be very different than you think. It's not just about your career, it's also about family and relationships. So there's a lot changing there as well.
I want to speak a little bit to that because you nailed that. It's a new title. It's you literally establishing a new title now that you've accomplished what you've accomplished, or this is so good, or you're getting ready to step into what you're getting ready to step into. And Uranus and Neptune and Jupiter in your 11th is having miraculous friendships come together and rewards from career. I feel like this can push a lot of you into luxury and success that elevates everything. But it's a new responsibility, right? You're a CEO of a company now. So it's like new levels, new devils. But Yeah, I'm really excited about this. This is really dope.
Okay, so for Gemini and Gemini rising, this is all happening in your 9th house of beliefs, travel, philosophy, law, publishing, higher education, friends in foreign places.
Higher education for sure.
But higher
And comedy.
spiritual beliefs too, because it's Aquarius. So like maybe you're learning astrology, maybe you're going and relocating to another country to go to school.
I'm currently taking a 2-year astropsychology program, so I'm learning about astrology. She's out work.
Are you graduating this year?
I procrastinated, so I'm gonna get it all done this year.
Yeah.
But if I don't get it done this year, mid 2023,
Yeah.
for sure.
I think it's going to be cool because you're really in an air element. And like, I think you're going to start kind of seeing the future potential of once Pluto moves into your 9th house. And then you are really able to perhaps maybe make the jump to like doing some kind of work in publishing or teaching, or maybe finally being able to be like, yeah, I can go and live in that foreign city while I'm working.
Well, I'm just looking at Ye and Trump because one has a social media network and the other one is just controversial as all hell, dropping an album and a music video. So
is it going to promote like and bring about like legal and law problems, legal issues?
well,
I could see that right now.
what I love about Gemini rising especially, but Gemini, is this is the year that since 10 years of what we did, or 12 years, we're going to now see the actual change of our career.
Yeah.
Like it's coming in. Like this is the year we actually experience it. And I'm so excited. A lot of your dream jobs are going to come to fruition. A lot of your dream vocations. This will make you be seen as more delusional than ever.
Well, it's
Once
highlighting
again,
also
but
their 12th and their
it is what
6th
it
house
is.
lords.
Exactly. Yeah.
Their 5th, 12th, and 6th house lord. So to me, it seems like it can materialize as like so much expansion going on in like your career or traveling. Because there's a lot happening for Gemini with their career right now with the Jupiter
Oh my
Neptune
God,
stuff.
yes.
And then it's like it sends you onto this projected, very quick moving new path where you're traveling a lot and stuff, but there can also be an awareness of some pretty bad patterns, Gemini.
Right. But like,
So be mindful of that.
I want you to revisit what Candace just said with career, because that is a fact. And we need to use our Gemini Titans. Once again, like Trump is building a whole new social media
I joined
network.
it. Did you join it? You should. There's a waiting list.
I don't have an iPhone.
Oh, that's right.
It's just
well,
like
I'm like the
Clubhouse.
4th million on
Oh my God.
fucking Trump's social.
See?
Just waiting.
Trump is bringing a new social media network. Do you know what Kanye's doing? He has a STEM player.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he has a cult. I'm waiting for the cult. Honestly, I hope he makes sweaters.
A cult? I thought he already had. I thought he said he has a cult. I was
A cult.
a cult, right?
Yeah, Kanye's cult.
The
Maybe
Sunday
they're
church
starting
service
it
or
at
what?
church, but I think he has a cult coming.
Coming
Waiting
soon,
for
Donna
it. It's gonna
soon.
be like $1,000 cult Yeezys and sweatshirts.
I would join that cult instantly.
I know you would. That's why he's fucking rich.
Yeah, I
because
would
of
join it.
people like you.
I would pay him just for no reason, just because. You know what? It's crazy though, because like he has the STEM player, which is like changing. It's opening the field in career, literally with Uranus manifesting independence, and like he had to drop his deal with Apple because he's doing the STEM player. So I like how we see these prominent Geminis competing with other Titans. You know, he's competing with Apple and Spotify. Trump is competing with Twitter and Facebook. This is just monumental.
Yeah, there's just huge things going on with publishing and international information and all kinds of stuff's gonna happen for you. But you want to make sure that you're keeping your nose clean, because I'm looking at Mars and Venus ruling the 12th and the 6th house, coming into conjunction with Saturn. Is if you've done some unsavory things, it's going to come out, especially with your taxes, especially
fact.
fooling around with people at work, especially if you are secretly having a fucking... You're losing your mind like Kanye is. Mars is going to go retrograde its 12th later.
No, but
Everything we have said has happened, by the way. I know I'm always the first one to say that, but we were the ones who said Britney Spears was going to want to get pregnant, get married, and have it out with her family. We were the one that says, I said it was going to be a nasty breakup between, Kim and Kanye. So stay tuned for
She did say that.
coming this Christmas to a screen near you.
I love it,
Okay,
by the
so
way.
let's move on to Cancer. Keep it going. So Cancer and Cancer
They've been trying to kill you,
rising.
Cancer, for years. They've been trying to kill you for years. They've been killing you
all
for
these
years.
planets coming into
Now they're
your
killing Leo.
8th house, though. It's showing up in Cancer's 8th house.
The 8th house is I feel like the most dangerous.
You better not fuck around on your taxes. That's all I'm gonna say. Because
Tell me I'm right or wrong. Other than Scorpio, I feel like the most dangerous 8th house is Aquarius. Cancer's 8th house.
it's pretty dangerous. Yeah.
And like,
It's kinky though too. So like
it's
maybe this
freaky
is like
as hell.
the
It's
first
like
time
Cancers
that
are freaks right there. Because the 8th house Aquarius.
there's some stuff going on there. But think about it like this though, because Mars rules their 10th house of career,
Yes.
right? And Venus rules their
my God.
rules their 11th and their 4th. So it's kind of like a lot of Cancers are realizing that they need to move through old trauma, psychologically and sexually, from their past to be able to achieve their goals.
Cancer, you just need to stop enabling evil ass narcissists and just people who you know damn well are bad, but you want to coddle and nurture them. It's your fault. It's always your fault because you could have said no, but you want to be the good guy. No, it's not always your fault. Some of y'all be getting like straight raped and just like abused. And it's funny, right? But it's not really funny because like people, that's the most gaslighted zodiac sign. Like they try to gaslight Scorpio, but Scorpio will kill you. But like they try and gaslight Cancer all the time. And Cancer has the most crimes of passion, which is so interesting, right? But like, what I really love about this is Cancer's turning point to where they're now championing a philosophy that since 2016 was just a theory, but now it's like a belief. It's a full-blown fact, and it's everything that's enabled them to take this critical attitude and believe more in their skills. And it's gonna make so many Cancers so much more psychic. I feel like Gemini and Cancer are gonna go on an "I told you so" tour.
Yeah, and it's gonna like light up anything going through Gemini later this year. It's gonna expose a lot of things, like a lot of like skeletons psychologically hidden in the closet, and bring up much needed conversations about what you need to do in regards to other people and their resources to feel better situated.
Yeah.
I think actually in your home and in your career zone. So there's been this like kind of storyline that's happened with the retrogrades in your 7th. That's like if you've gone through a breakup, a separation, a severance, even from a job or from a career, it's trying to get you to dig deep and go, okay, actually I need more. So it can also push you forward to be willing to do that work, but go and get the business loan, pay off the credit cards, finally handle the situation with like a debt or a loan, or invest in a business. So it can give you like the kind of like hard ass swift ass kicking that you get to like really get you going. And like keep in mind this, I think June or July, Jupiter goes into your 10th house. So in my opinion, it's more revolving around clearing out relationships that aren't supporting you.
It's a rising star year.
Yeah, being able to really come into your own, especially in your career.
The 8th, like the 5th, is a self-employment house. So like this is a great year to invest in crypto, stocks, the right collectives that take your own creative value and then barter knowledge through.
Yeah.
And the coolest thing is like the South Node in your 5th is using your talents to be a part of a team. So it's like joining a basketball team.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what's up.
For Leo and Leo rising, this is the one that I'm most curious to see. I feel like Leo rising and like Scorpio risings are going to be the two that are...
Scorpio rising is going through what Leo rising is going through, but I feel like in the shadows. Like,
it's much more private than
right.
shit,
People are focused on Leo. They don't know Scorpio's going through their own beef. So Joe Rogan, okay, Tory Lanez is fighting for his life. Joe Rogan is fighting for his life right now. Like, this is not a joke. Trump, Leo rising, like, they're coming for y'all.
Yeah, because it's happening all for you guys. It's happening in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships, or that can also be seen as like a fame house. The 7th and the 10th is kind of how you're seen publicly or how the public responds to you.
It's like unconventional. And if we take both of those two, like he has Spotify record numbers. Tory Lanez put out an NFT album, sold like 1 million copies in a minute. So like that's the unconventional
there's
income. and
There's some
career
stuff
success.
happening there
Monopoly.
for sure. I mean, I feel
Yeah.
like, you know, the Leo risings who have been saying they want to be in relationships are now really going through like
Standard upgrades.
yeah, it's just like now you're kind of realizing like you can't fall in love with the drama, you can't fall in love with the glitz and the glamour. Like when it comes down to partnership, if you need somebody who's really going to have your back, you need somebody who is on your level and is your best friend.
Yeah.
You know,
Basically.
because you're making big moves when it comes to partnering with people in general to change your public image. So whether that's the you know, business partner you align with to launch this successful business, the manager you get that's going to help kind of promote you and really put you out there and be seen more, or the person you choose to spend your life with, knowing that there's more than just the physical romance, there needs to be common goals. And that means you're going to have to really work harder in relationships. Otherwise, you're going to see some fucking... There's some definitive moments coming in relationships for this transit for you.
It's you versus the world. It's open enemy right here. Controlled opposition. I love everything you said because the 10th house is your reputation. And we know that Uranus is in your 10th. And it's hard to find a Leo that doesn't have a controversial reputation right now. I'm going to use the same two examples, Joe Rogan and Tory Lanez. So like what you want to do is lean forward towards that controversy. With Saturn giving so much pressure.
This is going to bring up so much shit for Obama.
I can't wait, but Obama's too smooth.
There's going to be some Obama stuff that's going to come up soon.
Obama's too smooth. He's too smooth.
I don't know.
He
I
got
think
the
that
12th
they
house
might
Saturn.
see that something during his administration was somehow tied to Ukraine or something.
Well,
like,
see, that's so what you just said right now is the most important thing because he has 12th house Saturn in Capricorn. That's the shadow government. And everything we're seeing now is slowly but surely tying everything back to what happened in that administration. Yeah. But King Barry is smooth, man. Like he knows it. Like the Aqua Rising is on a whole nother level. So like I think what you're saying is right, and I'd be really interested to see. I think he might have the biggest controversy of all time that comes out. It's just as an Aqua, that's all hidden in his 4th. So regardless, like. I mean, you want to lean into the controversy and instead of like Leo, don't get too defensive. Be controversial.
Well, some things are worth fighting for, right? To some extent, like some things are worth fighting for if it's the right relationship.
Some of you want to get canceled, and that will actually bring you the W.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to go down for you the way it'll go down for other people.
Yeah, and you're gonna have people who are gonna either fight with you or they're
so
gonna
much
fight
support.
you. Yeah, but you do have support. There's gonna be kind of things really are gonna come full circle for you closer to your birthday. That's when I think you're gonna be in charge. You're gonna call the shots.
So true.
You know?
Yeah. That's wild.
For Virgo and Virgo rising, this is happening for you in your 6th house of daily routine, health, wellness, pets, coworkers.
Upgrading. So they're setting an advanced routine, and I love that for Virgo because like. Not only is that their house, right?
Yeah.
But the North Node just went through y'all 10th house and it just changed the direction of your career.
Yeah.
And aligned it to what you're meant to do. And then Saturn in the 6th this is my work office that I can do that. So
maybe you're going to get a Roomba and stop cleaning your own floors. That's kind of the feeling that I get, Virgo. Maybe you're going to hire a housekeeper or somebody to water the plants or watch the kids. Or like, it's about, I think, making more time.
Reality hacks too.
Yeah, like, you know, getting a digital calendar, you know, counting calories or steps in an app, things that are going to help you really upgrade your health and wellness through technology.
Do you feel like this might be more towards other people's behavior too? And like how they're pimping other people's lifestyle.
Yeah, and I think they're going to clear out a lot of old bullshit from relationships because it's 12th to the 7th. But I think it's about making the most of your time and feeling like it's about not working harder, working smarter. Yeah. So you have things that are like time hacks that allow you to feel like you can spend more time with your friends, or many of you guys want to travel and you're realizing that that's important to you now because of the squares to Uranus in your 9th. Maybe you've met somebody who lives far away. Maybe you want to take a new course. Maybe you want to just travel more often. And I think organizing your schedule in a way and like putting all those pieces in order and like getting really rigid and committed to like new routines at work, with your time schedule, with your health, with your diet, whatever, will give you more of that freedom later in the year.
Let's talk about the opposition with Neptune and Jupiter. Y'all are going through.
I think, but that's
the most delusional nightmare. I've
seen so many Virgo risings that are like, oh, I met this person 2 months ago. I'm getting married. They're like hypnotized. It's fucking weird. It's super fucking weird. But on the flip side, it's also all sextile in the ninth house.
Yeah.
So, you know, some of that does kind of make sense for me. The opposition, though, I mean, heaven or hell.
Divine partnerships.
You know, Neptune, Pluto may rule hell, but Neptune is hell.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
The sea, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't really think about that.
No, not in that sense, but like when you think of like, you know, Pluto's the crisis, but like Neptune, I feel like Neptune is more hellish than.
Not in the not in the way you think. I'd say that. Like Neptune can definitely be hellish, like in a never-ending way.
I've been in like the longest Neptune trines. I'm like over it.
There's such a fog. I mean, you feel so lost.
But the opposition isn't terrible. I just think that they're not really going to know what's going to go down later until Saturn starts coming into Pisces.
The only thing terrible about it is the fact deficient people who just don't accept reality. Like Virgo is being made to be antagonized for just expressing the facts.
Right.
And that's fun.
There's
but
going to
also
be a lot of that though. We have the
because Jupiter's here now too.
Jupiter's there, but also we're going to have the Virgo full moon here.
Oh, that's true.
So that might ground it out a little bit, at least in mid-March. It's before these transits, but I would just say, find new ways to update and innovate your routine and how you are with people, what you're making time for, and what it means to be healthy. It's like a mind-body balance.
Everything is setting in your neural pathways so that when Pluto goes here, you're awakening it extremely.
Yeah.
And it's live or die. It's live or die.
For Libra and Libra rising,
I'm excited about this because I feel like we're going to hear some of the greatest music Libras have ever done. Like a lot of Libras are going to come back and like master their craft on it. I wouldn't be surprised if Eminem drops like another
his
project
work just
that
feels
rivals
like it's
his
like
first.
better and better. Like
Right.
that's the weird thing. It's just like it just gets better.
And a lot of people kind of hated his like there's even criticism on his older releases. I feel like it'll come back full circle.
Yeah.
So with Eminem and Lil Wayne and like Bruno Mars and just like prominent Libra artists, I feel like we're seeing a renaissance with Libra too.
Yeah. They're focusing more on like their most authentic form of creativity and self-expression. And in many ways, I think they're finding that they're taking center stage also because of collaborations and people who they're also working with and like, you know, so for many Libras, it can be this new form of self-expression, which is ironic. You know, Saturn in Aquarius, it's a sister sign, but it can be a bit of a killjoy. So it can be this feeling of like, I'm working really hard on this thing that I'm passionate about that I want to create, but I can't go out and party, right? Mm-hmm. And I have to be super focused on this. Mm-hmm.
Because they're shifting all of social culture and like with Jupiter here, they're finishing a 6-year integration process. So you're literally on the verge of making your dreams reality, like living your dream life and like integrating their imagination. So whereas Virgo is since 2021 evolving advanced techniques, Pisces, Libra, living the divine lifestyle. You're incorporating elements of your imagination into your life. And this is preparing for a huge integration of evolved partnerships by May. And it's just going to bring everything you've brought together and boom. And I don't think a lot of people will know a lot of what the rest of us see is because of the connections Libra is making behind the scenes.
Exactly. Yeah. It's highlighting, it's involving your chart ruler. So this is important because, you know, Venus rules your chart. It's about relationships, balance, harmony. Mars obviously rules your 7th house of relationships, but also your 2nd house of joint resources. So it's, I think, who you're working with or collaborating with and how it's actually bringing a true sense of security that may not always be financial, but it's more psychological. Right? North Node in Taurus in the 8th.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that I feel like is why we see a lot of Libras killing the crypto game. I've seen a lot of Libra men and women kill the crypto game. And a lot of that is taking their pure wisdom socially and just knowing the right places to invest in. And
talking to people about it and getting insights. I mean, obviously with the Saturn conjunctions, like, realize that you're in a very kind of creative period. Yeah. So some of the things that you're committing to can have long-term effects, whether it's like an album that you write, which ends up being huge, or, you know, a project that starts as kind of like a side hustle, but it becomes a multi-million-dollar, you know,
People are gonna steal
deal
your
down the
ideas
road.
and Scorpio ideas, but like it's gonna be like you're feeding people, so it's kind of good.
Yeah.
And everything you invest in now, you're gonna cash in on October.
Yeah, it's just
Which
about
would be
being
great.
conservative with some of the investments, especially Libra risings. You want to be mindful
Interesting.
of that because Saturn, Mars, Venus is like, okay, no, we're going to hold back. There's a bigger dip coming. So there
I'm
may
glad
be,
you said conservative, because I would have,
Yeah.
I would have just kind of said invest as much.
well, you need
but
to learn how to take you need to learn
The
how to take a
conservative is right.
chance,
Yeah,
right? But
that's
those
true.
chances come with consequences.
I feel like the Saturn square is definitely the conservative
Yeah.
for sure.
And then somewhere around May, you'll see a turning point where it'll make sense why you took the time, invested the time, or why you held back.
And a lot of this is not based on real time knowledge you're picking up. It's based on knowledge you've been like analyzing for like 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
So you're applying it now. It's replicable. It's down to a science. And you're going to feel like you have a secret technique to hack the economy. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And I feel like that's the same for Scorpio too, but Libra is more the cardinal action aspect of it, and Scorpio's manifesting it, which
Yeah,
is
Scorpio, like Leo and Taurus, you know, you're a little bit under the gun this month. You have the Mars, Saturn, Venus conjunction happening in your 4th of Aquarius.
Yeah.
And it will be squaring your Scorpio.
Can you speak on what that's like to have Saturn transiting through the 4th? Is that like a cosmic galactic family? Or
Yeah,
like,
so the 4th house is like the past, or it's your roots or your heritage or your family.
I learned it's, home is not home is not what you have, it's how you feel.
Yeah.
So would you say 4th house Aquarius is feeling at home with the collective? Or?
Feeling at home with the collective, or feeling at home with making changes and innovations in the home that are going to bring unity. But you know, for Scorpio risings, Saturn meeting with Venus in your 4th is the karma of your partner or your spouse. So realize that there's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen in the next month with your partners that have to do with their family, like parents getting sick, you know, aging issues, needing to make big decisions about where you're living, home and family, that feel very restricting because it's squaring your sign, but it's also squaring transits in your 7th. So it's like about being like, no, we committed to this. This is the plan. And there's still a lot of refining that plan in May, June. But I get the feeling for many Scorpio and Scorpio risings, it's about adapting to expansions in your family. And whether that's like needing to relocate or finally deciding to settle into a relationship and moving in with somebody or getting married, or, you know, Jupiter, Neptune's in your
Autonomy
5th.
too. I feel like this is working from home and just kind of coming into more independence.
Yeah.
Kind of doing that too, or working from home. Like, work from home. But
Yeah, but you're laying some pretty solid foundation. So some of you guys might literally be buying a home, building a home, starting a
Renovating,
family, things like that. And it seems
with Jupiter in the 5th too. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
a lot of that. Yeah. trying to curb that. We're not talking about that.
Yes, some baby making.
But it's good, you know, like
Yeah.
Saturn going through the 4th, it's really helping you. You might feel a little depressed and a little down, but it's helping you focus more on like, okay, I need to lay the foundation of the home so I can focus on my future.
And you
career
gain supporters and subscriber count too, so you could go viral during this year over time.
Yeah.
And like raise. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super dope.
Definitely.
And of course, with the Jupiter coming to Aries, you're gonna really like integrate an authentic lifestyle really quickly.
Yeah.
Sneak peek it. That's awesome.
So for Sag and Sag rising, this is all taking place in your 3rd house of communication, siblings, vehicles,
Skills,
short distance
abilities.
trips.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Cosmic telepathy. And so normally 3rd house transits are learning a new skill, like learning tarot, or because it's Aquarius, astrology, exactly. Learning how to apply science. Aquarius is science, a collection of knowledge.
I think some Sag and Sag risings have to learn a new
language
because they're moving to a foreign place with Jupiter entering your 4th.
Or even a coding language, but I like that. Yeah,
Or
teaching
maybe
or
you're
learning a new
like
language.
having to drive around and look at different neighborhoods because
Yeah.
you're planning on buying a home. So you're having to physically look at nearby areas.
Oh, and yeah, Jupiter in the 4th, you could be moving, yeah. Again, because some of y'all just be moving, like every 4 months or years. But like, yeah, it's my bad. It's very interesting because you know, what I love about Sag rising and Sag is Uranus in their sixth. To me, that's just like being able to create your lifestyle instantly. Like, okay, I want $100,000. Boom. And it's like you just did that in like 2 months.
It's really important also to be like speaking positively, staying positive. This transit can get you a little down in the dumps and kind of being hard on yourself, and you want to watch how you're thinking and what's coming out of your mouth, because
everything that you say, would you agree, is like impacting culture?
Yeah.
And
impacting
the collective
culture, but also
Yeah.
your mind and your ability to move around and kind of have freedom. And whether that's like, okay, you know, I can't get on an airplane, so I gotta, you know, have a road trip, or focusing more on like beginners and like basics topics, so like entry things that you're learning that's new, that's not super complex, and like needing to learn the language of it, or even like needing to just get out more and be interacting, you know, with your community.
And a lot of you, for the first time, will be taking very occult, hidden beliefs and living it. Like a lot of stuff that were dreams, like in the most unconventional way, like they're real now.
Yeah.
And it's just your lifestyle is going to look so weird or different to people.
And you're clearing a lot karmically from past trauma and how that impacts the way that you communicate.
Yeah, too.
And so you're being more aware of like patterns and habits and how you can actively make those changes. Journaling can really help, I think.
To me, I'll need to just pop up and surprise people. Capricorn rising and sun. This, I feel like, is the most financial boom. One thing I love about Capricorn is they manifest a network, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, they're the best network marketers. And they can monetize their network. I feel like this is going to step you into so much more wealth after Jupiter has expanded everything. And so you're developing divine abilities. You could be learning tarot or manifesting astrological knowledge. And this is definitely also unlocking with Neptune, Jupiter, this unique ability to now harness through your imagination and psychic intuition abilities real time, and to kind of discern with the knowledge of all this Aquarius, how it's just so high level that at that Capricorn level, it's like also with the third house Pisces speaking a divine language that's unspoken, but also very hard to put into words because it's unseen.
I think it's so incredibly important
metaphysical
for Capricorn. And I don't think it didn't click for me until just now when I was looking at this, but like, being that you have Mars and Venus, which is, you know, the ruler of your house of marriage and also your career house, and it will meet with the moon right around the 27th and the 28th, the ruler of the 4th. It's basically wrapping up this storyline for you, Capricorn, that's like needing to clear out everything that kept you from feeling capable or important, or any blocks that you had in your self-esteem or even in your resources, and like, it's really saying like, okay, it's time to put your talent to work. And unfortunately, with the Saturn conjunction, I think that it may come under the guise of like having a financial crunch and like being like, fuck, I gotta make money. I gotta pay something off. Like, I really need to develop this skill. So it's in order to totally transform your emotional and your home life, and also the future of where you're going with your career. It's saying it's time to get like the show on the road, basically. I think. Yeah. Mars and Venus, and like who you're partnering with, and maybe pooled resources. So maybe you're working with other people who have also defined their skills, and like, you know, are you going to have a tighter budget? Probably. But is it going to be worth it? Because in the long run, it might produce a sense of having real fulfillment. That's what I love about Aquarius in your second house, is that the self-esteem is more about your intelligence and what you know and who you're friends with.
Yeah.
Or crypto, because it's an Aquarian energy.
Absolutely.
Like,
a lot
you
of
know,
crypto.
like when I had a stellium of I have a stellium of planets in Scorpio. When Saturn went through there is when I built my business.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's like, honestly, Capricorn, like if you're wanting to make the jump, like make the jump. Like really actually, you know, focus on the self-esteem, you know, get serious with your finances, be mindful of like borrowing or lending money, because there can be some sticky stuff going on there, but it's time to really work on your self-esteem.
And whereas Cancer, you know what I'm saying, is using their talent to join a team, you, over the past 10 years, have built a team.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be used to support your talents. And a lot of you will be manifesting unconventional independence, doing what you love. This is a great year for self-employment.
Yeah.
And for really manifesting a lot of that. So that's awesome.
So for Aquarius, you're also in the hot seat. This is kind of your party. I guess if I could like sum it up briefly, I would say this is about you taking a stand and really realizing that in order to create change, there is a need for you to be very clear about what you need personally, your body, your limits, your boundaries. And because it's squaring the South Node in your 10th house and it's also squaring the North Node in your 4th, there can be a lot of you feeling like, well, fuck, I gotta go my own way. You know, I'm talking to a lot of Aquarius risings who are like, my relationship is ending, I'm having to move, and my job is changing. And I'm like, well, the good news is that you just cleared the decks, and now you gotta find somewhere to live and go through a divorce and find a new job. But, you know, if you're at the bottom, you can only go up from here, right? And I know that sounds shitty, but I mean, there is something, there's like something to that, you know? Yeah. About being more independent,
Absolutely.
Least, right?
And gaining roots, you know, with the 4th, you're taking the career success. And when I had South Node in the 10th house, I met Candace through working with Astrology. And my whole, you know, I was able to get a new home because of my career success. So it's so much more intense for you, Aquarius, because you have Jupiter, Neptune. Some of y'all are about to come up on, like, Jupiter, Neptune in the 2nd is going from $0 to $10 million.
But you were born for this.
Right.
Like, you were, because Saturn's been in your sign for a hot minute. Jupiter was there last year. You know, you also had Saturn go in and out for a while. I mean, it's showtime. If you have been feeling strapped and limited and that you're at a dead end with your career stuff or something with the home situation, you might find that you're at odds with the living situation and you're not wild about where you're living and you have to make sacrifices, to which I would say just hang tight. If you can just wait until later this year, it will remedy itself, and you almost want to kind of stay loose and not feel like you're making any bigger changes, probably until closer to June when it comes to more permanent living situations, because you're going to have eclipses in your 4th, and there's also going to be a retrograde there. So
many of you may feel comfortable in your own skin, standing on your values for the first time ever too. Still feeling like an alien, but like more accept, because Aquarius, what's happening is, for the first time in a long time, since the 1700s too, but even beyond that, people are starting to understand you. Yeah. There's still like a long way to go, Pluto Aqua, but like they're now starting to jump on the waves that you've been saying for 10 years. But now it's like, so that's pretty cool. It's showtime, baby. Like, give everybody a fucking show. Be a Leo. Be a Leo. And it's cool because it's about kind of being detached and getting to where it's like, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I'm hoping as a result of these transits, we get to a point in society where somebody goes, "You're a Democrat?" And they go, "Yeah, I'm a Republican." Okay, cool. Let's still have a beer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. It's allowing people to have their own opinion, their own beliefs, their own direction, and respect them and let them have that and be able to go your own way without strife. So what's going to happen is you guys are the leaders for some of these transits. Like, you're the ones who are going to be showing everybody how to behave. So I'm hoping that you don't wig out with the Uranus squares. It's more kind of being like, and I'm good here. We're done. I wish you the best. I'm going my own way. I don't know where I'm going, but it's going to be great. See you later. Right? And like doing that and showing people that we can detach and still be cordial and be respectful and treat each other as equals. It's going to be hard because you're going to have to push really hard to make that happen, but you're going to start seeing it breaking out at the seams, I think, the end of March, beginning of April. It's also a transition to the awakening of the celestial team. So after this year, Pluto starts to touch your sign and nothing will ever be the same. Fly that freak flag, baby. Oh, yeah. And so finally, Pisces. Oh, man, Pisces. Pisces. This is all happening in your 12th house. I guess the Mars and Venus conjunction is like really sexy. Yeah, it is. And it's like bed pleasures, and at the very least, clandestine relationships, cheating. Something kind of sexy behind the scenes, but I feel like it's like a situationship you have with a friend, maybe. Yeah. Behind closed doors, a lot of stuff. But honestly, it could also just be you isolating the shit out of yourself to the collective too, and just being in your own world. So 12th house is definitive endings also. Exactly. With Saturn too. Yeah. Like, oh my God. And you've got the ruler of Aquarius in Pisces 3rd.
So I'm wondering, are you traveling to a foreign country? Are you needing to learn a new language? Are you talking to somebody far away?
And for Pisces risings, right?
Yeah.
Jupiter in the first, right, is the first chapter of a brand new book.
Oh, it's Jupiter and Neptune, so you have to be alone to envision it.
Exactly. And Saturn, right? Last year was the last chapter of like a 12-chapter book. So you're starting chapter 1, but you're starting chapter 1 with Saturn in the 12th. The first chapter of this year is you still going over the last book.
Yeah.
And then chapter 2, when Saturn comes in your first, is the real beginning of the story. Jupiter and Aries, the identity of your... So
you got to hold the faith on this, though.
Yes,
it's really important to hold the faith because...
Because you believe in a vision no one else sees or knows but you.
Yeah, and when everybody collectively is wigging out because it's in your 12th, you're going to be like, you need to be zen, you need to be maybe you do need to be by yourself. Maybe you need to be meditating.
See, Pisces is by themselves, even if they're with everyone, which is pretty interesting. Like, you can be lonely in a room full of people, which is legendary. Like, I love that. But it's evil that I love that. But, like, it's still very
But it's also just, like, lots of, like, sex and Netflix. And
I see
hanging
that,
out
yes.
and having a good time and lots of FaceTiming and digital art and, like, having, like... You're going to get it all out of your system. And what's going to be so great for Pisces is, like, when all of this energy eventually does move into...
Aries?
Manifesting. It's manifesting. Yeah. So you're kind of like, it's okay. Like, you know, don't let other people's vibes or, like, fears or phobias affect you is what I would say.
Mm-hmm. And also, you know, like, I love that you mentioned Uranus. Like, that this is bringing into form new natural talents and abilities that will practically bring into reality a lot of their beliefs and religion and philosophies that they can now like break down and start to learn and teach. Yeah. So honestly, the most important thing we can say about this is, you know...
Mark your calendars. Mark your calendars the 28th of March, the 27th of March, through about April 8th. You're going to see some huge world events, but also a lot of you having to kind of step up to the plate wherever Aquarius is in your chart.
Absolutely.
Well, what's the most important thing you're going to say? Just sign up for our memberships because they're the best. We hope you do.
I love how it's predictable now. I
see you twitching like, yeah, buy me more cheese.
Buy me more cheese. I need this.
Thank you guys for staying and listening to that all the way through and for hanging out for 2 podcasts. Some of you guys have been here for all 50-something podcasts, so you guys are the real
Season
MVPs.
2, baby. Let's get it.
Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and supporting the channel. You make it possible for us to drink alcohol on the internet and talk to you about the stars and planets.
And I just want to, because I wanted to say this the episode prior, but Candace made sure that
I was the one that was like, yeah, we were right.
We've been on point, and that's what I wanted to say before. Thank you guys for giving us our flowers, because so many of y'all been like, yo, you were right about this.
People tag us and stuff all the time. They were like, we saw this in one of the podcasts. So we're not just
we're ahead of the curve. Okay, we back it up. What's it called? What's it called? What's a coincidence called if it happens twice or 3 times? It's not a coincidence.
I was expecting something much more than that. But
right, I paraphrased it totally wrong. I didn't say that right, but still, yes.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to run. We'll see all of you very soon. Thanks for watching. Take care.
Bleep.